So I've been investing with the Robinhood app for over 4 years now, and I've seen a lot of the big changes happen on the platform. And that's why I want to make this video today, because I want to go over the biggest features that have changed with Robinhood. And I also want to talk about the pros and cons, because honestly, Robinhood isn't for everyone. But in my opinion, if you are a beginner to an intermediate investor, they are a very good brokerage to start with. Now to start off, if you guys don't know anything about Robinhood, they're just another brokerage account, meaning you can buy and sell stocks on the stock market. But the big difference with Robinhood is that they do not charge any commissions when you buy or sell stocks. Now that was the biggest thing that they first came out with. They were kind of a breakthrough in the market because they didn't charge a fee. Now normally when you buy stocks, you have to pay between $5 to $10 just to buy the share. And then when you sell the share, you have to do the same thing, regardless if you're selling 1 or 1,000 shares. It doesn't matter. You always have to pay that commission. But with Robinhood, there are no commissions, so you can buy and sell and it doesn't cost you anything. So essentially, Robinhood makes it a lot easier for beginners to get started in the stock market, especially if you don't have a lot of money to invest with. Because if you're losing all that money from commissions, then those are just gains that you're losing out on. And that's a lot of money if you don't have a lot of money to invest with as far as a percentage goes. Now, the other thing about Robinhood is that they don't require a minimum balance, meaning you don't have to have $100 or $500 to get started. They only require you to have at least $1 to get started investing. And that is a really good thing because it's so easy to get started in the investing world. Now, obviously, if you only have $1 to invest in the stock market, you're probably not going to make much money, even if you invest in the best investment that's out there. But the point is that Robinhood just makes it so easy to get started in the investing world that you can start to learn how to do it. And then over time, as soon as you build that knowledge and you get more experience, then when you have more money to invest in the stock market, hopefully that can reflect in the gains that you have throughout the investing world. Robinhood allows you to trade common stocks, ETFs, REITs, and then they've also got free options trading and cryptocurrency trading as well. So pretty much any type of investment you want to get into, Robinhood has it for you. And in my opinion, they also make it very easy to search for different companies on the stock market. And related to those companies, you can read different articles that they have posted there. And then you can also check basic statistics about those specific companies. Now, if you are brand new to Robinhood, they'll actually give you a free stock just for signing up. And the share is going to be random, so you could end up with something that's probably worth about less than $10. And then some of the shares, I've heard of people getting Facebook or Apple, and those are obviously worth a lot more. So to get your free stock, I do have a link in the description. You can check that out if you want to. It's a referral link, so I'll get a free stock and you'll get a free stock just for signing up, but you might as well if you're brand new to them. Now, the best feature, in my opinion, that Robinhood finally came out with is the ability to buy fractional shares. And this is a big deal because you no longer have to buy individual shares of companies. You can buy small little pieces of them for as little as $1. So if you want to get into any company out there for as little as $1, you can, because of the fractional share ability that's finally available. Because if you wanted to buy 1 share of Chipotle today, it would cost you over $1,200 just to get that 1 share. And from an investing point of view, that's a lot of cash just to get into one investment. So with fractional shares, you could buy into Chipotle for as little as $1 and you could be invested in them, but you don't have to come up with that initial amount of cash just to get the 1 share. And then the other cool thing about the fractional shares is that you can turn on a DRIP program for your dividends, which stands for a dividend reinvestment plan. And what this means is that if you get paid a dividend, that money can actually go right back into the stock automatically instead of just sitting in your cash account. Because if you ended up getting a dividend for, let's say, $20, then that $20 would just sit in your cash account until you decided to do something with it. But with the DRIP program turned on, and because of the fractional shares, that $20 can actually go back into that company automatically. And so that money can be reinvested as soon as possible rather than just sitting there and having you have to manually check on it and invest it. Now, if the fractional share stuff in the DRIP program seems a little bit complicated, don't worry, I do have a video that I'll link up at the end of this video that explains exactly what those features are. So if you guys need more details on that, I will have another video linked up. Robinhood also has what they call a cash management account, which is basically just a bank account. So you can actually do direct deposit, you can pay your bills, do all the types of things that you do through your checking account. And then it'll also come with a debit card that you can use at 75,000 ATM locations without any fees. And then obviously you can use the debit card on all your other purchases as well. And then the other cool thing about their cash management account is you can actually earn interest with your uninvested cash. But the only problem is right now it's only at 0.3%, which is still better than what you're going to get from most checking and most savings accounts, but it's just not really that competitive right now. And that's as of March of 2020 that they have listed. So it's probably even worse right now considering all the Fed's interest rates have gone down. And then another cool feature on the investing side of Robinhood is what they call instant deposit. And this is very handy because if you want to make a move on the stock market today, but you don't have the money in your account, then you're going to have to transfer that money from your bank to your brokerage account, and that can typically take up to a couple days just for the money to settle. But with Robinhood, they'll actually do the instant deposit, like I said, and they'll have up to $1,000 that you can use instantly to trade with on the stock market, even though that money hasn't settled with your bank. So it means if you need $400 right now and you do have that much in your bank account, then you make that transfer, the $400 goes into Robinhood and you can invest with it instantly, even though the money hasn't actually settled yet. Just make sure that when you transfer the money to Robinhood that you actually have that amount of money in your bank account. Because if you do end up overdrafting, Robinhood isn't going to like that and you can actually be penalized and lose that feature. So just make sure that you have that much money when you're doing an instant deposit. And then another cool thing about Robinhood is if you sell your shares today, you can actually use that money as soon as those stocks sell to buy more stocks in the stock market. So the cool thing about that is typically when you sell a share, you have to wait 3 trading days just for that cash to settle. But Robinhood will put that into your buying power, kind of like the instant deposit feature. And with that buying power, you can trade on the stock market, even though it hasn't settled technically. So in a nutshell, if you sold $1,000 worth of shares, then you'd have $1,000 of instant buying power that you could use to trade on the stock market, even though that money hasn't literally settled yet. Now just keep in mind that if you do need to withdraw cash from Robinhood, they have to abide by all the regulations in the stock market. And a lot of those regulations and rules can keep you from getting your money quickly. So if you're in a pickle and you sell some shares, you are not going to be able to use that money for at least 3 trading days. And then you got to wait another couple days just for the money to get to your bank. So if you are in an emergency, just keep in mind these are rules for every single brokerage. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't have to get mad at Robinhood because they're just following the same rules as everyone else. Usually you're not going to have to wait more than about a week to get the money from Robinhood to your bank account. But like I said, they do have to follow the rules and the regulations. So it's not just quick money. It's not fast liquid money like you have in your checking or your savings account. That's where you want to keep your emergency fund. Don't keep that inside of Robinhood. And at this point in the video, if I am making sense about what I'm talking about, can you please just comment down below and say, I got it? That way I can tell based on an audience if what I'm saying is making sense to you guys. So thank you very much. Robinhood also has an optional service called Robinhood Gold. And this is a subscription that's $5 a month that'll actually give you a lot of different perks. And the first 30 days is free if you want to check it out, but I'll go over all the perks right here for you guys. You'll get access to Morningstar research reports, NASDAQ level 2 market data, margin trading, and then you'll also have access to higher instant deposits as well, just for the $5 a month. As far as the instant deposits go, you're going to get up to $5,000 in instant deposits with Robinhood Gold. And then after $5,000, you can actually max it up to $50,000, but you have to have that amount in your portfolio in order to access the $50,000 in instant money. So as an example, if you deposited $25,000 from your bank account to Robinhood, then with that perk, you'd actually have instant access to that $25,000 without having to wait, as long as you had $25,000 or more in your portfolio to match it. And then also with Robinhood Gold, you're going to have access to margin trading. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically just borrowing money to invest in the stock market, and then you have to pay it back with an interest rate, kind of like a loan. Now with Robinhood Gold, you're going to have access up to your first $1,000 of margin trading for free. That's with the $5 subscription service. And then after $1,000, you're going to be at a 5% annual interest rate, and that's after the $1,000. Now, there is a lot of risk associated with margin trading, so please do your homework if you're going to be taking advantage of that. But just so you're aware, Robinhood does offer margin trading as long as you're subscribed to Robinhood Gold. Overall, I feel like Robinhood is a very good brokerage to invest with, especially if you're a beginner, just because they make it so easy to get into the stock market. But there are a few cons when it comes to different investing styles, and I'm going to go over those right now because these really kind of can make or break Robinhood for some types of investors. Now, the first con that I want to mention with Robinhood is the fact that most of the investments that you can make with them are not automatic, meaning you're going to have to manually invest your funds into the stock market, and nothing is just a set it and forget it kind of thing. Now, they do have the drip program that will automatically put your dividends back into that specific company, but that's really the only automatic thing they have. You can also do automatic deposits from your bank. So for instance, you could say $100 on the 15th of every month. That'll go into your cash account, but that money is not going to be invested for you. So as far as a set it and forget it approach, Robinhood is not the kind of platform you want to be using if you're not going to be manually investing on your own. Now, another con with Robinhood is that when you're researching companies, you're not going to find a lot of data on those specific companies because they don't offer it. So if you're looking for dividend history or a company's fundamentals, different financials and things like that, you're not going to find much of that information. Robinhood does give you a little bit of information, but just not much. So in that sense, you are going to have to look elsewhere if you want to do more research on a specific company, because you can't just deep dive inside of Robinhood on all the companies that you're looking into. And then as far as customer service goes, this is a big deal for some types of customers because Robinhood really lacks in the customer service area. Because as far as I'm concerned, everything that I've researched and all the playing around that I've done with Robinhood, I haven't found that they actually have a hotline that you can call to get help with. Now, if you do need help with them, you have to email them and then you have to wait for a response. And sometimes this could be very frustrating if you need an issue solved right now. But for the most part, I haven't run into any of those issues. Everything that I've done on the trading side has worked smoothly. I haven't personally had a problem. But for some of you that might run into an issue, this is an issue if you can't call them on the phone and fix your problem quickly. So just keep that in mind. I don't know if they have a phone line. Maybe they do, but I haven't personally found one. So keep that in mind. Their customer service kind of lacks. Now, the biggest issue that I personally have with Robinhood is the fact that you can't invest in tax sheltered accounts like IRAs, Roth IRAs. And this is a big problem for me because I always want to take care of those types of investments first before I use an individual account like what you use on Robinhood. So as far as IRAs and Roth IRAs, tax sheltered accounts do not exist right now on the Robinhood platform. Maybe one day they'll offer tax sheltered accounts, and in my opinion, that'll be a very good thing. But for right now, they don't offer them. But as far as cons go, that's really all that I have to complain about Robinhood. And as far as pros go, there are a lot of very good benefits for them. And so overall, I feel like they're a very good brokerage account to invest with, minus just a few little quirks that they have. But honestly, any brokerage account that you're going to work with, they're always going to have pros and cons. Same with Robinhood. Now, if you guys are interested in watching more videos specifically on Robinhood, like how to buy or sell stocks or how their drip program works, then I've left a playlist over here that you guys can check out so you can watch more of them. But I really do appreciate you watching this specific video. Thank you very much. Have a great day.